I got every Minecraft achievement in 1.17 in 100 days. In survival, hardcore, here's what happened, yeah. 1.17 is out, and with this update, Mojang decided to throw in a bunch of new achievements, or I'm sorry, advancements. I really don't care. So I'm gonna survive 100 days in hardcore and try to get every single achievement. From Stone Age to How Do We Get Here, I'm getting every single one of them. This is gonna suck. But I'm doing it for you guys, so if you're not subscribed yet, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Let's begin. I started off like any player would, by getting some wood. Yeah, I got my first few achievements by crafting some tools, and I made my way to the nearest village. Once I got there, I collected some food, and I found this ravine right below this house. I went down below and got a bunch of raw iron, went back up and smelted it. I got the iron pickaxe achievement in the suit up achievement, and a water bucket. The sun set on the first night, and I slept in the nearest villager house and got the sweet dreams achievement. While exploring caves, I found this big ravine, but when I tried to jump down, I failed the water clutch. There was a crap ton of mobs down here, and I nearly died on the second night. While trying to trap myself in a box to keep me alive, there was this axolotl swimming right next to me, so I could grab him and get the cutest predator achievement. Thankfully, I made it out alive, and traveling back to the village, I found a brewing stand. And as I found out on a stream I did earlier, if you put empty bottles in a brewing stand and take them back out, it'll actually give you the local brewery achievement, which is pretty helpful. I decided to leave this village and start exploring. I found my way to another village, which was actually filled with these underwater lost castle drowned things. I don't know what they're called, I'm sorry. I got a couple of good items from those, including a treasure map, and I was able to actually find this treasure close by. Usually finding treasure is kind of hard, but I found out by a viewer on stream that if you go near the X and go to block 99 in the chunk, the chest will always be there. So that's a cool tip for you guys to use in the future. I set up a chest and a crafting table in a place that I'm gonna build a house. It might not be permanent, but this is what I want to set up for now. I also found this yellow axolotl, and I grabbed him. I fished and caught a pufferfish, which I actually ended up eating because I need the achievement where you eat one of every edible item, and I wanted to get this one out of the way. I also found out while sailing that this village is actually on a floating underwater island, which looks really sick. So this is definitely where I want to build my house. I went exploring and found some seeds, so I could start a farm and get the seedy place achievement. After this, I decided to actually go mining because I wanted to get the diamonds achievement and the obsidian achievement. And to my surprise, in the first cave I found while mining, there some were. I kept exploring and I found an abandoned mine shaft where I collected more iron and some string, and then I headed back up. Once I got home, I crafted a diamond pickaxe and went exploring once again. While exploring, I actually stumbled across another village. This was like the 5th village nearby. I was actually looking for a lava pool, but to my surprise, I found a broken portal. And inside the chest was some obsidian to get the achievement, and I decided to just go ahead and go to the nether. Once teleporting, I was in this really weird high area up in the ceiling, and I didn't really feel like risking my life just yet, so I decided to go back. So the next few in-game days are actually live streamed on Twitch, so if you guys want to watch and be a part of some of my future videos, then make sure to go follow me on Twitch. The links are everywhere. I grabbed some glow ink and a sign, wrote a touching message, and made it glow to get the glow and behold achievement. I then went fishing and tamed myself a cat so I could get the best friends forever achievement. I'm sure this cat will live a very long life. I had a bunch of iron left over from mining, so then I went and grabbed some pumpkins and made an iron golem for the hired help achievement. I went back to that abandoned mine shaft to go mining again, and I got a couple pieces of obsidian for an enchantment table. I fell down into an amethyst little cave cove thing, and got a couple of amethyst shards for a spyglass. I then thought it'd be funny to switch my language to pirate language because why not? I was running around when I pushed my sitting down cat off of this dock into the ocean, and because he was sitting, he couldn't swim away, so he died. Oops. I then made a target block to try to get the bullseye achievement, which took me quite a while, but I eventually managed to hit it. I did it first try. It was super easy. I breeded 2 random cows to get the parrots and the bats achievement, and that was the end of my stream. Next I went exploring and I found a beehive, and I decided to make a campfire and start cooking the honey inside, or whatever it does. I crafted some bottles, and after a while of waiting, I got the honey and got the Be Our Guest achievement. Next I decided to make an actual farm, so I led some cows and sheep over and made a nice little pen for them. I went and killed a bunch of fish so I could tame some more cats. One of the achievements is taming one of every single cat variant, which is gonna take me forever, but I have to do it, I guess. I ended up finding this brown cat that took me forever to tame. He kept running away. I really don't know how to tame cats in Minecraft. I have no idea. I collected a little bit of obsidian and decided to make a portal near my house, and I went to the nether to see what it looked like, and it kind of sucks. I'm in a terrible position here in the nether, but hopefully it'll get better. I decided I'll work on the nether achievements later, because I definitely think I should go find more diamonds and suit up a little bit more before I do that. And that's exactly what I did. I crafted a couple extra tools and headed down to my mine. Before long, I stumbled upon a cave cave, and soon after that I found some more diamonds. And this is a really weird looking vein. I don't know if this is a part of the 1.17 update or if I've just never seen a diamond vein like this. Anyways, I stayed in this cave for a pretty long time collecting ore and just kind of mining around, and I finally headed back up. I collected some dirt to start a little bit of a farm because I hadn't had a single type of farm going until this point. And then I went back to my beehive and I sheared it to get some honeycomb. I needed this honeycomb for the wax on and wax off achievement you use by putting it on a copper block and then taking it off. And yeah, I got that achievement. I decided to suit up and go sailing and exploring because I needed some extra achievements that required different biomes. So I got in my boat and sailed away. I found some endermen, and even though I almost got killed by this stupid skeleton, I ended up killing both of them and got a pearl. I eventually found my way to this mountain biome where I saw a couple of goats. I pushed a goat into a boat and then I sat next to it and got the whatever floats your goat achievement. Yeah. I then realized that you could actually breed goats, so I quickly made a small farm on top of this mountain and breeded both of them. After I was back home, I actually went live again, but I didn't end up getting very many achievements this stream. I went mining, and on this trip I actually ended up finding more diamonds, which I used to make a couple pieces of armor and a diamond hoe. I tamed another cat, and I made a crossbow and shot it for the old Betsy achievement, and that's pretty much all that I did during this stream. After this, I set sail to go find a jungle. I had recently already found one on a trip that I took before, so I went there to go try to get some parrots. After a while of wandering around, I eventually finally did stumble across a parrot, and I looked at it through my spyglass and got the achievement. I also tamed some parrots because I wanted to try and breed some because I thought I could breed them, but turns out you can't, so I guess it's helpful to me. I was hoping to find some panda bears on this trip because I know you need to breed those as well, but I didn't end up finding one at all. On my way back, I stumbled upon this desert village which had a crap ton of cats. I literally tamed so many cats and got over half of the variants done in this one village. After this, I sailed all the way home, but when I showed up at home, not one of my pets followed me. Not a single parrot, not a single cat from the desert, none of them. I actually believe this is a glitch part of 1.17. This happened to me on stream once with a dog. He was on shore, I went sailing, and then once I got to the other side, he just would not follow me, and it was too far for me to get him back. So unless I go back to that desert and find them again, I don't think I'll be seeing all those cats and parrots ever again. After this, I actually found a snowy tundra nearby, which I was exploring to try to find some powdered snow, but to my surprise, I actually stumbled upon an igloo, which is perfect. 100 Minecraft days isn't really a very long time, so I knew I would not have time to start a whole village. And thankfully this igloo had a basement underground, which meant I could cure the villager and get the zombie doctor achievement very easily. Next, I was ready for a big trip. So after organizing my chest and getting prepared, I headed to the nether. I wanted to avoid this basalt biome, so I decided to build a big bridge away from it. It was pretty easy to make, but I was really terrified that a magma cube was going to jump down and push me off. I eventually reached a dead end and started tunneling through the nether, and even though I had a couple of close calls with lava where I almost died, I eventually made it to the other side. Using cobblestone, I made sure to mark a path on how to get back home, and very close to where I came up was a nether fortress. And building up to it, I got the achievement, A Terrible Fortress. Right there in front of me was a bunch of withers and blazes, so I decided to build a little area to fight them. I then saw a ghast, so I looked at it through my spyglass so I could get the Is It a Balloon achievement, and I kept on fighting wither skeletons. Eventually this ghast came really close to me, and I wanted to get returned to sender, but he just would not throw a fireball at me. So then I did this. I grabbed him with my fishing rod, pulled him close, and then punched the fireball back at him. That was awesome. I continued to fight these withers for a while, hoping to maybe get a skull, which is not very likely, but I eventually defeated them all and I went and fought the blazes. After killing most of them, I went and explored the fortress, where I had a couple of other close encounters, but nothing too hard. I discovered a few chests and got a bunch of gold, iron, and even diamonds. And I even collected a little bit of nether wart so I could start a farm when I got home. I know I'm gonna need some of this for making potions. Traveling home, I stumbled upon a couple of piglins, and I wanted to get the Ooh Shiny achievement by trading with them, but I didn't realize that in order to get the achievement, they have to be attacking you and then you give them the gold, so I ended up just trading them all my gold and I didn't even realize. But I actually got the Who's Cutting Onions achievement and I even got a couple of ender pearls. Then I realized that they traded me enough crowing obsidian to make a respawn anchor, so collecting some glowstone, I crafted it, charged it up all the way, and got the achievement. Then after this, I headed back home. After I got home, I started to expand my enchantment table room and enchanting a couple of items to gear up for a big trip. I wanted to go find a pillager outpost so I can start a raid. I wanted to get the achievement for getting Bad Omen, but I also wanted to get the Hero of the Village achievement for defeating a raid. So after not very long at all, I actually stumbled upon a pillager outpost pretty close to my house. And after a pretty long time of waiting around, one with a flag finally spawned, and I got the achievement. Then I went exploring and found a completely different village. I knew I didn't want to have the raid in my house because I didn't want to kill all my villagers, and I started the raid right there. The raid actually went pretty well. I had a couple close calls with poison, but nothing that serious. It was pretty much a cakewalk the entire time, but I guess I took too long because they killed all the villagers and it was a defeat. I thought I was doing a pretty good job, but I guess not. I decided to go home for now, but I will try this again again soon because I really do need that achievement. Once I got home, a thunderstorm actually started, so I decided to try to get the Surge Protector achievement. While waiting for this, a creeper actually got struck by lightning and became charged, which kind of freaked me out. I stayed away from it for a while. I put one of them on top of a villager house so it was close to one, like the wiki said, but sadly I paused the recording to go look up how to do it, and when I got back, I had the achievement. So I wasn't recording, but hey, it's right there, I got it. I decided to travel far and go on another quick mining trip. I was still rocking a lot of iron gear, so I wanted to find some diamonds to make a full set. It took me quite a while, honestly, a few days of mining around mine shafts and just kind of strip mining around, but eventually I did find some diamonds. I had enough to make diamond pants and diamond boots. Next I wanted to get a few more nether achievements, so I grabbed some warped fungus and a saddle and made a warped fungus on a stick, and I went and found a strider, and after riding it for a little bit, I got the strider achievement. I then went and found a piglin to trade with because I needed the Oh Shiny achievement, and because I also had a bunch of gold left over that I wanted to trade to him for more ender pearls, because it was time for something big. I went home, crafted a bunch of Eyes of Ender, and set out on a trip. I was ready to find the stronghold. The way I see it, the faster I go and defeat the dragon, get to the end city, and get an elytra, being able to fly around will be able to make everything so much more easier. Because at this rate, it would take me well over 100 days to get even close to all the achievements. So I set out. I traveled decently far and broke quite a bit of my eyes, but I eventually did find it a lot closer than I thought it would be. I dug down, found the stronghold, and got the I Spy achievement. I then looked around and surprisingly found the portal really close by. Sadly though, I did not have enough eyes to travel right then and there, and then I wasted my last one, so yeah. No worries though, there was a couple endermen running around that night. I also was able to get a couple of beds at a nearby village, and I had enough blaze rods to craft the rest of the eyes and travel to the end. There I was, and there the dragon was. I made sure to bring a totem of undying with me, as I had got one from the village raid that I did previously. After struggling a little bit with destroying the healing crystals, literally, I don't know what was wrong with me, I could not aim. I had to build up to a couple of them, but I got them all done, and it was time to fight the dragon. I kept forgetting though during this fight that you're not supposed to run in while he's flapping his wings, so I kept getting pushed back and I even almost died. My totem of undying saved me, thankfully, which meant I got the achievement post-mortal for using it, which I guess is a good thing, but I couldn't let that happen again. After using every last one of my arrows, I knew I had to switch to using the beds. I got one of them off and I felt so satisfied that I did not kill myself. I got the second bed off and almost defeated him right then and there, but he escaped last second. But he finally swooped down and I got one last hit on him and defeated the Ender Dragon. This was the first time I've ever beat an Ender Dragon in one of these 100-day videos, and it was so satisfying. I also made sure to grab the egg, which technically isn't an achievement, it's a goal, but I did it anyway because I really wanted to keep the egg as a souvenir. I jumped in the portal and traveled back home. I still need to go to the end city, but for right now, I want to go home, enchant stuff, and restock my food. With all the XP that I got for defeating the dragon, I was able to enchant some of my armor and a bunch of my tools. I also got Silk Touch on my pickaxe, which meant that I could go back and grab that beehive for the beehive achievement. I grew a tree by my house and put the beehive there for them to live near me. I continued to enchant some of my tools and I decided to go to the nether, because it was finally time to find some ancient debris. After finding a spot where I could actually dig down, I made a little bit of a strip mine, and after not very long of mining, I actually found some and got the achievement for picking it up. And honestly, one of the most efficient ways to find ancient debris is just mining in a straight line. Strip mining like you would for diamonds is just not the way to go for the nether. You're much better off just mining straight. I guarantee you'll find more ancient debris. After a while, I eventually found enough to make 2 ingots, which is all I really wanted for now, because this meant I could get 2 important achievements. But before I do that, on my way home I stumbled upon a crimson biome, which made me realize that I was only 1 biome away from getting hot tourist destinations. So after exploring for a little bit and trying my hardest not to get lost, I eventually found the Soul Valley biome and got the achievement. But this wasn't the only purple achievement I'd be getting today. After making my way home, I smelted the ancient debris and got a netherite ingot. And you know exactly what I used this on. A netherite hoe for serious dedication, my favorite achievement. I also had enough to make a second netherite ingot, and I debated putting this on a piece of armor or a tool, but I eventually decided to make it into a lodestone so I could use a compass on it for that achievement. After all, the challenge is for achievements, so they are my first priority. Next, I started to collect some honey from the hive that I have nearby, and I got enough to make a block of honey, which I used to get the achievement Sticky Situation, where you break your fall on the side of a block of honey. And yeah, that's I needed to gear up before going back to the end, and since I had used my only Totem of Undying while fighting the dragon, I decided to go back to that same pillager outpost and get Bad Omen again. This time though, I had the raid at my house. At first I thought this was a good idea, but halfway through I realized, crap, this is hardcore mode. I was doing really decent at the start, and I even got a couple of Totems of Undying, but once the Ravagers started coming, I ran out of arrows, and you cannot fight these dudes without arrows. You just cannot. They killed all of my villagers, and the raid was a defeat. Hopefully I can cure some zombie villagers and maybe repopulate my village. This kinda sucked. a lot. But the good news was I had a couple more totems of undying. So next I decided to travel to the nether to get some more netherite. And after honestly a pretty long time of mining, I did come across a little bit, at least just enough to make 2 more ingots. I wanted to get some better armor for a trip back to the end. I ended up using my ingot on my boots, because netherite boots negate all knockback, and because my chestplate was about to break and I thought that I would get some treasures at the end city. So after gearing up and getting ready, I set out. Traveling back to that same little spot, I found my way to the portal. And traveling back to the end, I built a little bit of a platform to climb up to this teleporter. That way I don't have to risk my life by throwing ender pearls. And after crawling inside, I was there in the end city, or the end city dimension, or whatever this place is. And this was the beginning of a very long walk. I ended up grinding some endermen so I could get some pearls, so I could at least navigate this place a little bit easier. And after about 20 minutes of walking, I finally came across an end city. And lucky for me, the first one I found had a boat. This was great. Traveling through it, I was excited to kill some shulkers so I can get shulker boxes. Those are going to be super useful for the rest of this playthrough. And I also collected some treasures wherever I could find some. But eventually, I pearled my way over to the boat and got my first elytra. Now this is where it begins. Everything is going to be so much easier. Now after I climbed out of this boat, I realized there was 2 more end cities right next to me with 2 more boats. This meant that I could get 3 elytras just in case one of them breaks. Traveling through these end cities was pretty dangerous. I had a lot of close calls with these shulker boxes. When you're in hardcore mode and not wearing all of your armor, they are deadly. I nearly died multiple times. It was horrible. But I eventually made it through and I collected so much good treasure from these buildings. So many pieces of diamond armor, so many diamonds. It was fantastic. And on top of that, I was able to get an ender chest, which meant that I could keep all of my goodies inside of it. I collected the elytra from that boat and flew to the next city. Here I once again collected a bunch of awesome loot and got the other elytra. I was so set at this point. After leaving the last city, I grinded a little bit of enderman because I knew I was going to need a lot of pearls on my way back. Once I got a couple of stacks of pearls, I headed towards the direction I thought I came from, but I'm pretty sure I was completely wrong. After 20 more minutes of running around, I eventually made my way to another portal. And throwing my pearl into it, I traveled back to the Dragon Island, where I jumped in the portal and went back home. Needless to say, I was very satisfied with this trip. So satisfied, in fact, that I decided to go to the nether to grind for wither skeleton skulls. Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to beat the wither. After traveling to the nether and heading over to the fortress, I built my way up and started fighting wither skeletons. By combining stuff that I got in the end, I was able to get a looting 3 sharpness 5 diamond sword, which is insanely lucky. I would not be able to do this without it. This part took a long time. A lot of running around in circles in this nether fortress to let them spawn, but eventually I did get my first skull. And with that, the achievement for picking it up. I continued to grind for the next 2 hours or so. Yes, seriously, a very, very long time. I eventually got my second skull when I wasn't recording because this took me so long I had to pause it, but I'm pretty sure the bones in my inventory can convince you enough. And after only a little bit longer, I finally got the third one. This meant I had everything I needed to beat the wither skeleton. But before I do that, I want to work on another achievement. A Furious Cocktail. This achievement is the slightly easier version of How Did We Get Here? You get this one by having every potion effect on you at the same time. So I went home and started brewing some potions. I surprisingly had almost everything I needed right off the bat. I created over half of the potions without any issues. Eventually I did run out of stuff and I had to go back to the nether to collect some ingredients, and I even had to go breed some turtles to get one of the helmets. But eventually I did craft every single potion, and I splashed them all on myself and got a Furious Cocktail. This took much longer than I made it seem, but I got it done. After this, I went back to the nether for even more achievements. I hadn't yet found a single bastion, so I went back to that Soul Valley biome in the nether, and I actually found one. I was kind of scared exploring through it, but then I realized how OP I was, and I just kind of killed everything, and I got the achievement for looting the chests. The best thing I found in these chests were a couple pieces of ancient debris, and nothing much after that. So I went home, but I had something else that I wanted to do. I went home and enchanted my tools and fixed my pickaxes, because I wanted to go mining once again for some netherite. I wanted to get the achievement Cover Me in Debris for getting a full set of netherite, and now that I had a couple of extra pieces from that bastion, it was going to be pretty easy. I went mining, and I didn't get as lucky as the last few times, but I eventually did find enough to finish my set, which not only meant that I have the achievement, but I also have a full set of netherite armor now. I went underground and mined a bunch of obsidian so I can make a giant portal in the nether, because I wanted to get the achievement for bringing a ghast to the overworld and killing it. Traveling to this high area, I found a ghast and built the portal as quickly as I could, and I tried my hardest to drag him in with his fishing pole, but he just would not budge, and he eventually went away and just despawned. Unlike other hostile mobs, when ghasts aggro towards you, they just fly away and despawn, which is the most annoying thing in this game. I absolutely hate it. After leaving and coming back a few times, one spawned super close to the portal, and I almost pulled him in, but I believe I made the portal just a little bit too small, small, so he just would not fit through. At this point, I just decided to give up. It was getting really late in this challenge, and I just could not spend any more time dragging these things around. After coming home, I found this skeleton in the woods, and I trapped him in a little box, built 50 blocks away from him, and shot him with a bow for the sniper duel achievement, which was much easier than I thought it would be. Next, I decided to do something that I've been putting off this entire time, getting a trident. You need a trident so you can get the a throwaway joke achievement, and so you can strike lightning on a villager and get that achievement. So I definitely needed to get one now. And this took so long. Much longer than I wanted it to. But this also gave me the opportunity to get the axolotl achievement, where you have one help you fight and kill a monster, and I got it pretty easily, which was pretty cool. I have a diamond sword with looting 3 on it, and I still just could not get one. I even ran into an ocean monument kind of close to my house, and I had no desire to even go near it, because I needed to get this trident so bad I had no time to go exploring. Plus, there's not really any advancements for going inside of the temple, so who cares. Eventually though, after hours and hours, legitimately, of grinding these stupid drowns, I finally did get one, and it felt so satisfying. Even though it had absolutely no durability left, I still could use it. I went home and threw it at a zombie to get that achievement, and eventually found the channeling enchantment. I needed a couple extra levels, so I took a quick trip to the nether, and grinded some zombie pigment for a couple extra levels, came back home, and enchanted it. Now all I had to do was wait for a thunderstorm. Next, I started gathering materials and gearing up for a big trip. It was time to fight the Wither, and I also wanted to fight the Ender Dragon again, because there was a couple achievements I missed the first time. So gearing up and getting ready, I headed out to the portal. When I got to the end portal room, I built a nether portal right next to it, and built a path from that portal to my house portal, so I have an easy way to get from home to the end. I went back to the end portal and traveled to the end. Some of you might make fun of me for this, but I dug a little arena underneath the portal to spawn the Wither down there. In my opinion, it would just be kind of stupid to try to fight him normally. The Wither is pretty difficult and hardcore, and I don't want to risk dying when I'm this far. I just don't think it's worth it. Placing all the soul sand in the heads he spawned in, and obviously he was stuck inside the bedrock, and I just had to swing at him, and it was pretty easy. I killed him and picked up the nether star, but now it was time to fight the dragon again. I went and grabbed my end crystals, placed them on the corners, and he spawned in. This time I did a lot better than the first time. I made a lot better decisions, and I really didn't mess up once. I got an achievement for looking at him through my spyglass, and then I filled a bottle with dragon breath for that achievement as well. And I defeated him. After I beat the dragon, I jumped in the portal and went home. And to my absolute surprise, it was thunderstorming, which is amazing because now I can get the Trident Lightning achievement. I grabbed my trident and ran to the nearest village, broke into a house and found my victim, pushed him out of his house, struck him with lightning, and got the achievement. After this, I went home and I crafted a beacon, and using whatever iron I had left over, I built it a little platform and placed it on top. And boom. And it was right around this time that I hit the 100-day mark. Those last few days I had to hurry as fast as I could to get the rest of the achievements, but I did it. Well, kinda. You see, Minecraft has 3 different types of achievements: normal, advancements, goals, and challenges. And even though I got a bunch of them, I didn't get every goal and every challenge, but technically I did get every advancement in 100 days in hardcore. But I might actually try to get the rest of the goals and the challenges in this world, so if you want to see me do that, make sure to follow me on Twitch with the link in the description. Also, credit to Luke the Notable, who came up with the idea for 100-day videos. It's not my idea, it's all from him. Credit where credit is due. And yeah, that's about it.